In this video, I'll be talking to you guys about the differences in Islam and culture. The first thing I'll be talking to you guys about is the burqa, also known as niqab or chadri or paranja in Central Asia. The burqa is an enveloping outer garment worn by women in some Islamic traditions to cover themselves up in public, which covers the body and the face, originating from the Arabic word burqa. Burqas are most often black. They are specifically worn in Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Women in Saudi Arabia are not required to wear the niqab by secular law. However, the niqab is an important part of the Saudi culture and in most Saudi cities, including Riyadh, Mecca, Medina, Abha, and so on. The vast majority of women cover their faces. The Saudi niqab usually leaves a long open slat for the eyes. The slat is held together by a string or a narrow strip of cloth. Women in Islam are not obligated to wear the burqa. What they are obligated to wear is the hijab. The hijab is a veil worn by some Muslim women in the presence of any male outside of their immediate family, which usually covers their head and chest. Saudi Arabia was the only country left in the world where women were not allowed to drive, but you don't see that in other Muslim countries. Actually, you see women driving buses, trucks, motorcycles, cars, and even airplanes. Okay, so now we will talk about who Muslims really are. Usually when someone hears the word Muslim, they automatically think that they're from Egypt or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia, but that's not the case. I mean, yeah, they could be from those places, but that doesn't mean that they have to be from those places. Islam is a religion, not a country, so anybody could be Muslim. Actually, studies shows that Islam is the fastest growing religion all over the world. So yeah, really, anybody could be Muslim. Many have the impression that parents force their daughters into marriage in Islam, but this is a culture or practice and has no basis in Islam. In fact, it is prohibited. Islam has honored the women by giving them the right to choose a spouse and keep their original family name once married. At the time of the Prophet Muhammad, a woman came to him and said, "My father has married me to someone to raise his social standing and I was forced into it." The Prophet then immediately sent for the girl's father and then in his presence gave the girl the option of remaining married or nullifying the marriage. She responded, "I have accepted what my father did, but I want to show other women that they could not be forced into a marriage." We tend to see, read, or hear about a lot of women in education and how their daughters are not allowed to seek education, usually in developing countries. But that is usually culture and not Islamic. Women in Islam are encouraged to seek knowledge just as much as men are. The Prophet Muhammad said education is compulsory for every single Muslim. Also, great female Muslim scholars existed at and around the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Some were from his family and others were his companions or their daughters. Prominent amongst them was Aisha, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, through whom a quarter of the Islamic law has been transmitted. Other females were great scholars and had famous male scholars as their students. While men and women have equal rights as a general principle in Islam, the specific rights and responsibilities granted to them are not identical. Men and women have complementary rights and responsibilities. Aside from external and internal anatomical differences, scientists know there are many other subtle differences in the way the brains of men and women process language, information, and emotion, just to mention a few. A sociobiology expert, Edward O. Wilson of Harvard University, said that females tend to be higher than males in verbal skills, empathy, and social skills, among other things, while men tend to be higher in independence, dominance, spatial and mathematical skills, rank-related aggression, and other characteristics. It would be foolish to treat both genders the same and to ignore their differences. Islam teaches that the men and women have complementary yet different roles because it is best suited to their nature.